If you want to learn about the human history briefly, then Yuval Noah Harari's book Sapiens is the best place to start from. And today I will tell you the 9 most interesting parts of Sapiens. Part 1, Battle of Homos. One of the history's what-if question is what would have happened if Neanderthals would have survived the battle against the Homo sapiens. But the first battle between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens was won by Neanderthals. And it took the second lot of Homo sapiens to conquer Neanderthals and rip away Neanderthals from the face of the earth. This victory was possible due to new ways of thinking and communicating. The accidental genetic mutation is believed to have changed the inner wiring of the brains of sapiens, enabling them to think in unprecedented way. And legend, myths, God, and religion appeared for the first time. Imagined idea is the most unique feature of Sapiens. It enabled us not merely to imagine but accomplish things collectively and flexibly. Part 2, History's biggest fraud. Hunter-gatherers spent their time in more stimulating and varied ways and were less in danger of the starvation and disease. The agricultural revolution certainly enlarged the sum total of food, but the extra food did not translate into better diet. Rather, it translated into population explosions and pampered elites. The farmer worked harder than the average forager and got a worse diet in return. Also, the people's settlement next to their crop shows that we did not domesticate crop but crop domesticated us. Part 3, We Are One. Today, we consider our planet as a single society. During the last 3 millennia, people made more and more ambitious attempts to realize that global vision. We begin with the story of the greatest conqueror in history, a conqueror possessed of extreme tolerance and adaptability, thereby turning people into ardent disciples. This conqueror is money. People who do not believe in the same God or obey the same king are more than willing to use the same money. Osama bin Laden, for all his hatred of American culture, American religion, and American politics, was very fond of American dollars. How did money succeed where gods and kings failed? Part 4, The Power of Money.
Lannister always pays his debts.
Money was created many times in many places. Its development required no technological breakthroughs, it was a purely mental revolution. In fact, even today coins and banknotes are a rare form of money. More than 90% of all money exists only on computer servers. Most business transactions are executed by moving electronic data without any exchange of cash. Only a criminal buys a house by handing over a suitcase full of banknotes. Part 5.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
During the last 5 centuries, humans increasingly came to believe that they could increase their capabilities by investing in scientific research. This wasn't just blind faith, it was repeatedly proven empirically. It assumes that we don't know everything. Even more critically, it accepts that the things that we think we know could be proven wrong as we gain more knowledge. Part 6, Game of Thrones. How did the people of this frigid finger of Eurasia manage to break out of their remote corner of the globe and conquer the entire world? Europe's scientists are often given much of the credit. But that wasn't the case before 1850. What potential did Europe develop in the early modern period that enabled it to dominate the late modern world? There are 2 complementary answers to this question: modern science and capitalism. Europeans were used to thinking and behaving in a scientific and capitalist way even before they enjoyed any significant technological advantages. When the technological bonanza began, Europeans could harness it far better than anybody else. Part 7, Best and Worst of Times. The late modern era has seen unprecedented levels not only of violence and horror, but also of peace and tranquility. First and foremost, the Nobel Peace Prize to end all wars should be given to Robert Oppenheimer for his atomic bomb. Nuclear weapons have turned war between superpowers into collective suicide, and made it impossible to seek world domination by force of arms. Secondly, for most of history, emperors could enrich themselves by looting enemy territories. What would happen if the Chinese were to invade Silicon Valley? They would gain little. There are no silicon mines in Silicon Valley. The wealth resides in the minds of engineers there. Thirdly, the tightening web of international connections erodes the independence of most countries. Like previous empires, this one, too, enforces peace within its borders. And since its borders cover the entire globe, the world empire effectively enforces world peace. Part 8.
In the pursuit of happiness.
In last 500 years, economy has grown exponentially, and humankind today enjoys the kind of wealth that used to be the stuff of fairy tales. Science and the Industrial Revolution have given humankind superhuman powers and practically limitless energy. But are we happier? Evolution molded our minds to the life of hunter-gatherers. The transition first to agriculture and then to industry has condemned us to living unnatural lives that cannot give full expression to our inherent instincts. Nothing in the comfortable lives of the urban middle class can approach the wild excitement of a successful mammoth hunt. Every new invention just puts another mile between us and the Garden of Eden. Part 9. Terminator. At the dawn of the 21st century, Homo sapiens is transcending the limits. We stand poised on the brink of becoming true cyborgs. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, a U.S. military research agency, is developing cyborgs out of insects. Such a fly could be sitting on the wall at enemy headquarters and could inform us exactly what the enemy is planning. The project's director has claimed that, if funded properly, within a decade or two we could have an artificial human brain inside a computer that could behave very much as a human does. If successful, that would mean that after 4 billion years of milling around inside the small world of organic compounds, life will suddenly break out into the vastness of the inorganic realm, ready to take up shapes beyond our wildest dreams. Not all scholars agree that the mind works in a manner analogous to today's digital computers. Yet it would be foolish to categorically dismiss the possibility before giving it a try. In 2013 the project received a grant of €1 billion from the European Union. What we should take seriously is the idea that the next stage of history will include not only technological and organizational transformations, but also fundamental transformations in human consciousness and identity. And these could be transformations so fundamental that they will call the very term human into question. How long do we have? No one really knows. If the curtain is indeed about to drop on Sapiens history, we members of one of its final generations should devote some time to answering one last question: what do we want to become? This question is important because at least the first generation of these gods would be shaped by the cultural ideas of their human designers.